Well, good morning. I need to tell you some of the things I've thought about and the changes that I'm going to make for my life. So, this is the part two I talked about. I've made a huge decision, and that is I am not moving from here. I've thought about it a lot for quite a while. All the pluses, all the minuses, all the stuff in between. If I were in my 30s or early 40s, I would still pursue it. But there was a question asked on Facebook from someone: where will you be in 10 years? And that just kind of hit me in the face, kicked me in the gut, because I was like, wow, 10 years and 7 months, I would be 85. Well, that's when things started getting real. I started thinking about being 85. Looking in the future, how would I be physically? Would I be able to do all these things that I have planned for this new property if I were to buy one? It is a fact. After 70, things slow down, including your health and your stability, your muscles, everything. It's not just your mind. Some people that are 70, 80, 90 still have their mind. They're doing well. I feel like I am. I'm doing okay. But physically, I can tell a difference between this year and last year. Huge difference. It is not the same. I cannot do the same things I did last year. I don't have as much strength. I work all the time, and I do it so that I do get stronger. By the end of summer, I'll be a little better, but will it be the same as last year? I don't know. So next year, I'll be 75. So every 5 years, I'm going to go downhill. God, I hope not. I'm not asking for it. I'm not putting it out there, believe me. I feel that we all decline as we age, and it's talked about all the time. This is driving me crazy. um, Doing manual labor, digging and making gardens and weeding and doing all that stuff takes a lot out of me. And if it's hot and humid, oh man, I just can't be out there. Today is horrible. It's in the high 90s and the humidity is just unbelievable. You can't breathe. So if I move to another place that's going to require everything being done, like the Zen garden, do you know what an undertaking that is going to be? Cutting out the garden beds and making a plan and going and planting, and how am I going to do that on my own? How? I'm sorry. I was not being a realist when I made that decision. No. I gave myself 2 years to find a place and to do it, otherwise I was staying here. Well, it's not 2 years yet, but it's getting close. The whole point of doing the Zen garden was to do it myself. was something I always wanted. Come close. Came close to it. We had a beautiful garden at one house that my husband Henry and I had, and it was just getting amazing. And we had plans to continue to make pathways and things like that. We had a 30-foot diameter garden, and then from there the pathways would go into other areas of garden. It was beautiful. But he had prostate cancer, and that kind of put the kibosh to accomplishing that. And over time, he just wasn't able to do much. He had treatment, but he was never right after that. So, I was thrilled that we got as much done as we could. And it was definitely beautiful, but that house was not for us. It was too big. 3 levels of stairs. We got to a point where we didn't even use anything but the main level for quite some time. Probably close to a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So we decided, this isn't right, we gotta go. We gotta find something else. A ranch. Well, we found a beautiful ranch with a basement, and I had a chairlift because I wasn't able to do the stairs. And he used it when he had to, when he didn't feel good. But it was a beautiful home, and we loved it. But there was no way we could do anything in the yard because it was a terrible yard. Nothing grew. Nothing grew. We would have had to completely tear it up and amend the soil and do so much just to get a little bit of a garden. So we decided not to, and he really didn't feel up to it anyway. We just gave up on it. We had a nice landscape around the house, and that we just had to be happy with that, and I was fine with it. And then when he passed away, I'm kind of glad we didn't have all that because I wouldn't have been able to take care of it. So I sold that house, I moved here, and slowly I have created a little interesting yard. Just a little. It's not a Zen garden by any means, but it's nice, it's cute. I love it. Makes me happy. Could I do more? Absolutely, but I didn't want to put a lot of money out for here if I was going to leave it. Well, then I started thinking about this. Okay, I am tired. I am feeling my age. I'm feeling that I don't think I'd be able to make and manage that by myself. Because it isn't just planting it, it's digging up stuff, making your garden area and amending the soil in those areas and doing all these things. I would have to hire it all done. I don't have the money for that. So then I started thinking about, salt, your water softener, because you live out in the country, you're going to have hard water and you're going to have a well and septic. Well, I'd have to haul salt, and they're 80-pound bags, and I can't lift an 80-pound bag. And I certainly, if it had a basement, I wouldn't be able to carry it up and down the stairs. I'd have to have a chairlift. But you can only have a chairlift if the stairway is wide enough, so it would depend on when the house was built and blah, blah, blah. And then what if all these things go wrong with the house? You don't know. I mean, it's someone else's house. Same thing with this one. When I bought this one, everything was supposed to be done and it was move-in ready. Well, it needed a water heater. There was all kinds of other things. The roof they claimed was only 4 years old turned out to be older than 4. And it was leaking. And the skylights were leaking. and the roof wasn't done right, and there was 2 layers of shingles, which these homes do not support. And then there was all these things I had to do to get the yard cleaned up because they didn't do anything. So there was a lot to do, and the deck was in total disrepair, and it was unsafe. It had to be fixed. I mean, there was just so much. And then I got scammed, and then, it just, all these things happened. And it is a possibility it could happen again because it is what it is. So then I'm thinking, I'm watching my bank account in my head, just zoop, zoop, emptying out, because I don't think I can take another loss like that. What I have to live on. I need to have that cushion so that if something goes south, I still have money to live on. If I do this, if I buy that house, wherever it is, and go ahead with this dream that I always had, I could end up with nothing. So I'm paying attention, and I'm looking at it in a totally different way. I'm giving up on that dream, but I can have another dream. I can still turn this yard into something that would really be pleasing to my eyes. I like it the way it is, but more could be done to make it beautiful. I hate carpet. Every house that I've looked at that was even a possibility all had carpet that needed replacing. That would be a lot. At least here, I could just do the rooms that were absolutely necessary to start. And it wouldn't cost me that much. I mean, the down payment that I had saved, I could use that money to fix this house and still have plenty left. The things that need to be fixed on this house are minimal. So I think I'm making a better decision just based on that. I need to stay put. There's no reason for me to spend all of my money that I have saved on another house when there's minimal that I need to do here. And I'm safer here than I would be out there because I wouldn't have anyone around me that I could count on for help if I needed it. So all of the negative things just kind of piled up and piled up and piled up. But the first thing was safety. The safety part was the most prominent thing. If I fell, would I be discovered in a timely manner? I don't know. I've fallen 5 times here when I first moved. And none of those times could I have reached my phone. I got stuck in the shower one time. The shower doors came off the track and pinned me in the shower. They were up against me like this. It took me a good half hour to be able to get those doors out of the shower safely. Someone said, well, you should have your cell phone in the shower. And it wouldn't have done me any good because the shower doors had me pinned into the back. And if I had my cell phone, it would have been on the dresser next to the shower. Still wouldn't have been able to get to it. And then who would I call? Would I call to come and get me out of the shower? I don't know. It's kind of creepy. So yeah, it was one of those things. It's like, oh my God. So the shower doors did not go back up. I don't want them. I just have a curtain. It works great. And I'm happy with it. But that was scary. And I was very weak. And it was really hard for me to get those doors out because they were very heavy. They were not plastic, they were glass. And so one of the shower doors was hanging on to the top part, but it had slid inside the shower part. The other one was the other way. I don't know how it happened. It just went off the track and there I was. And I finally was able to scoot them around. I couldn't figure out how to do it. I was finally able to scoot it and still hold on to it because the top part wasn't connected permanently, and then it lifted and then it started leaning in, and I'm trying to hold it all together. And I'm only 5 foot tall, so, but somehow I just hollered for Henry. Henry, help me, help me. He's not here, but help me, and you know, show me what I need to do to get out of here. And then I figured it out. And then I was able to finally squeeze myself around the door, leaving the doors in the shower part, in the tray. And I finally got myself out of there. I have a step because the distance between the shower pan and the floor is like this. And I have to have a step there because I just can't get out of it. So I was afraid I was going to slip on that. And yeah, it was just a nightmare. But I managed it. I got out. And then I got myself dried off and dressed, and I sat down and I gathered my thoughts. And then I realized, this is really tough living alone, especially when you're old. Because what do you do in that situation? Well, I know what I need to do. I want that shower out of there. It's a terrible shower. There's no room. There's like 2 seats in there that you don't use. I mean, it's stupid. I would like just a straight up and down shower. Forget that. And then there's a tub with a shower. And I don't use that. I'd like that taken out and just make a linen closet out of it or something, That would be awesome. Because these places don't have much storage. So those are things I could do to make my life better here. I would be much happier. Just doing those 2 things. And getting rid of the carpet in the living room and in the art room. In my bedroom. This room in the storage room wouldn't matter, but those rooms, I would like it out. The rooms I spend the most time in, I don't spend that much time in this room, but only if I'm editing or making a video. So I've made a decision. I had to make a decision on keeping the channel, and then I had to make a decision on, am I really going to move? Is it really the right thing? I have to think about my safety, my finances, and where will I be in 10 years? Will I be out of money in 10 years because I did this? Is it another mistake I've made that I wasn't paying attention to? And then the decision was very easy. So I'm staying. I'm going to stay here. I'll do the things that make me happy and make me comfortable. And then I'll do other things that bring in more blessings. We'll see where it goes. I'm still going to do my artwork. I still have plans for it. Whether that works out or not, I don't know. But what I will say is this: I'm enjoying doing it. The other thing is packing a house, getting ready to move, looking at houses, doing all that stuff. There's no time to do artwork. Everything has to be put away. And then I'm going to waste all that time and not be able to be creative again. And then you have to put your house back together once you move. And then you're tired. I don't want to miss out on the opportunities I have to make art, the things that make me who I am. Because I really don't need anything special. I don't need anything fancy. I don't need a big house. I don't need a big yard. Because the more I have all of those things, the less time I will have to create the art that's in my heart. So thanks for listening. If you've been here this long, I'm sorry it was a long video, but I really needed to explain, not just to you, but to put it all out there, why I make the decisions and choices that I am. And I want to be happy with those choices. I'm doing what's best for me. Some people think, you make a goal and you manifest it and everything, and you got to keep going and keep going and keep going. Well, if you want it that bad, yes. But if something comes up and you realize that, yeah, you want it really bad, but it's not really for your highest good, you can obtain it, but you might not maintain it. And that's where I'm at. I don't want to obtain it just to lose it, or not be able to take care of it, or not be able to accomplish all those things that I wanted to do. You have to be a realist when it comes to stuff like that. Is there another way that I can accomplish these goals that I have without moving? I think there is. I think there is. I think this is the place I need to be. I talked about this to a friend of mine, and she's in the process of decluttering and packing and hopefully moving within the next couple of years. And she too has a big house like I did. And she says, well, I think you're making the right decision, because if I were in your shoes and I was living there, I wouldn't go anywhere. You've already put a lot into this house. Why would you move? And that's it in a nutshell. I've already done a lot to this place. There's nothing that says I can't add to it, do more, make it better. I don't need a new house to do that. I can make this one work for me because it already does. I'm happy and comfortable here. I feel safer here than I have in other places. I have great neighbors. And I have a good community to live in. What more could I ask for? So I'm not giving up. I'm changing. I'm making a change. I'm making a change for the better, because now I have no restrictions on, I don't want to do this because I need the money for that, that kind of thing. It's not like I have unlimited income. But now, if I choose to get new carpet or new flooring and get rid of the carpet, I can do it without worry. I don't have to worry about the down payment. All I need is just the floor. So I just have to look at it from a different perspective. And I think it's the right one. Now, I haven't talked about it with my daughter yet, but she's got her own problems right now. And so when we have time, we'll talk about it. But I think moving would probably not be for my highest good. So I'm just going to hang out here, and I hope you hang out with me. So when I do some projects, I'll take you along. So anyway, thanks for being here, and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.